The Making of a Princess, Diana's Childhood. Narration, Scene 1, Birth and Family Background. Born into British aristocracy on July 1, 1961, at Park House on the Royal Sandringham estate in Norfolk, Diana Frances Spencer entered a world of privilege but not one of peace. She was the fourth of 5 children born to John Spencer, Viscount Althorpe, and Frances Roche, members of the English nobility with long-established ties to the royal family. From the start, Diana was connected to the monarchy. Her family had served as courtiers for generations, and she would grow up playing in the same gardens as Queen Elizabeth's children. Her father later became the 8th Earl Spencer, which made her Lady Diana Spencer, a title that would one day become known across the world. But behind the grand titles and family estates, young Diana's early life was not idyllic. Her parents' marriage was strained by emotional distance and growing differences. Her mother, Frances, struggled with the pressures of aristocratic life and eventually left the family, initiating a custody battle that deeply affected young Diana. It was a wound she carried for the rest of her life. As a child, she was quiet and shy, with a sensitive heart and a strong imagination. Though surrounded by affluence and tradition, what she longed for most was emotional warmth and family unity, something she rarely received. Narration, Scene 2, Parental Divorce and Emotional Impact. The separation of Diana's parents in 1967, when she was just 6 years old, became a defining event in her formative years. At a time when divorce was rare and even scandalous among the British upper class, Diana was thrust into a world of instability. Her mother moved to London with a new partner, while her father remained at the family estate. Diana and her siblings were caught in the middle of a custody battle that was more public and more painful than most. In 1969, the final decision was made in favor of her father, a ruling that deeply wounded Diana and created a distance between her and her mother that never fully healed. She would later say that her mother's sudden departure left her with a sense of abandonment and a lifelong fear of rejection. Diana was often seen weeping silently in her room, comforted only by her pet guinea pigs and books. Her sense of empathy, which later endeared her to millions, began to form in these lonely, confusing years. She learned to understand pain, her own and others, and became determined, even as a child, to give love where she had missed it herself. Despite the emotional chaos, she remained hopeful, finding brief escapes in music, dancing, and dreams of a better future. Narration, Scene 3, School Life and Early Traits. Diana was educated at a series of boarding schools, starting with Riddlesworth Hall and later attending the prestigious Westheath Girls' School in Kent. Though not particularly strong academically, she was well liked by her peers and known for her kindness and athletic abilities. She excelled in swimming and diving, often participating in school events with enthusiasm. Her teachers noted her natural leadership qualities, despite her reserved nature. In her teen years, she developed a passion for ballet, harboring dreams of becoming a professional dancer. Unfortunately, her height, she grew to 5 feet 10 inches, eventually made that dream impractical. Still, the discipline and grace of dance stayed with her, shaping the poise she became known for later in life. By 16, she attended Institut Alpen Vidimanet in Switzerland, a finishing school for upper-class young women, where she studied French, etiquette, and homemaking. It was there that Diana began to fully understand the expectations placed upon her as a woman of her class. She returned to London at 17 and moved into a flat shared with friends, beginning a brief career as a nanny and kindergarten assistant. Her warmth with children, especially those with special needs, was evident even then. Diana's early work experiences were grounded in empathy rather than ambition. She didn't seek fame, only purpose. Narration, Scene 4, Life Before Royalty. By the late 1970s, Diana's life had settled into a quiet rhythm. She lived in London's Earl's Court, balancing work with a modest social life. Despite being part of high society, she remained unpretentious. Friends described her as sweet, innocent, and sometimes a little naive. She was deeply compassionate and loved simple pleasures, pop music, romantic novels, and looking after children. Yet behind her smile was a young woman shaped by emotional complexity. She had not yet stepped into the spotlight, but fate was already moving her toward it. In 1977, during a visit to the Spencer family home, Prince Charles began dating Diana's older sister, Lady Sarah Spencer. It was then that Diana met the man who would change her life forever. Charles was 29, Diana was just 16. She was reportedly smitten, though their connection at that time was minimal. A few years later, in 1980, their paths crossed again, and this time, the press noticed. The shy young kindergarten assistant was suddenly thrust into the media frenzy as rumors of a royal courtship spread. But before the engagement, before the global fame, there was just Diana, a tender-hearted girl with dreams of love, still carrying the scars of a broken home, yet already beginning to show the emotional depth and humanity that would one day touch the world.